Alright, so this week I'm going to be talking about something called vowel harmony. So this concept is basically, in Finnish, not all vowels can belong together in the same word. Whereas I think in English you can pretty much just throw together any vowels from the alphabet into the same word and it doesn't really matter. In Finnish, you have certain vowels that cannot coexist together. It's like water and oil, it just doesn't mix. And the reason behind this is because it just makes it awkward and it feels a bit silly when you pronounce it. Like moving between certain vowels together, it's just an awkward pronunciation. So, and it makes it hard to say. So therefore certain vowels, they just stay away from each other like two opposing magnets, as you would. So basically the vowels are grouped together in 3 different groups, and the official names for that would be front, or some would say hard vowels. I don't know where the word comes from. Front as in apparently you pronounce it more at like the front of your mouth, but to be honest, like this whole pronunciation thing, front, back, middle of your mouth, I don't get it. It might be helpful for some people, but for people like me, I don't really understand how this whole like pronouncing at different areas of your mouth, like I don't get it. So for some it might be helpful that these would be considered the front vowels, but to me, no. Moving on. Yeah, so the front vowels would be y, and a. So those 3 are front vowels. They can always go together in the same word. Yeah. Then we have the so-called back or soft vowels, which would be U, O, and A. So these ones go together as well. And then we have what are called neutral vowels, so vowels that can be grouped with anything. So that would be E and I. A. And the A, or the no vowels, sorry, that's a bad joke. The A vowels can go with, and I mean like E-I, not the letter A, but like E-I, right? So, yeah, E-I can be grouped with any vowel, doesn't matter, you can stick them in anywhere, that's fine, because they're neutral and neutral vowels go with anything. But front and back don't mix together. And that's why in Finnish, a lot of the times you'll see that certain endings will have 2 versions of them. For example, like SSA and SSA. And you're like, ew, why do you have to know like 2 different endings? Like, why does it have to be like SSA and SSA? Why can't it just be one or the other? The reason behind that is vocal harmony. So as you can see, they're kind of opposites of each other if you kind of chart them together. The front vowels would be like the A, whereas the back one is the A. So like the dotted ones are front, which is like opposite of the alphabet, so it's a little confusing, but front of the mouth, I guess. A is the opposite of A, and then is the opposite of O, and then U is the opposite of O. So these 2 they don't combine together. So for some examples, it would be like bötä. Bötä has the it has the U, and it has the A. It has all 3 of the front vowels, none of the back, because you can't put them together. Then we have something like juoda, which has all 3 of the back vowels together, none of the front, because you can't mix them together. Seinä. Seinä would have 2 neutral and 1 back. Seinä. Lamppu has 2 back. I'm just literally looking in front. Vihko. Vihko would have I and O, so that is neutral and back. So as you can see, if you go through any Finnish book yourself, or like even just look at an article and go through every single word you see, you'll notice a pattern of the back and the front just not mixing together, and they'll be mixed either amongst each other or with neutral vowels. So they really don't, they really have this whole like in-group phenomenon going on, like in psychology, you know, where you just really like your own group and you like think you're better than the others. You won't sit at the table of the other group because, you know, they're not as good. It has like this whole feeling going on here. But yeah, you may come across words though where you're like, wait a minute, this rule is broken and Katya is a liar. Well, I would say kind of, but not really, because there are certain words such as like some compound words, something like ruokapöytä, which yes, it's one long word and it does include both back and front vowels in the same like word together. But then when you break down the word, it's actually two words just smashed together, like two individually standing words just kind of put together to form a new word. And that's why they are mixed together, because they're actually two separate words. Ruoka and pöytä. Like they're two different words and then they're just put together, and that's why it's ruokapöytä would have both of them. Or something like syyskuu, September, is syys and then kuu. It's like two different sort of words that are kind of like smushed together, and that's why those are the exceptions where it can look like it's one word that has like both of the vowel types together, but it's actually like technically you're right, but it's like two separate words, and that's why you're able to combine them together. Yeah. There are some exceptions, like some loan words that have come into use more recently. Something like miljonääri would be one thing, because that comes from millionaire, the word in English. So then that one has O and then A together, which usually you shouldn't be allowed to do that, but it's a loan word and it's more of a new word, I guess. So then that's an exception. And something like analyysi comes from analysis. So again, that's a loan word. So then that has the Y and the A together, which normally wouldn't happen. But like Finnish words, this rule is a common rule? I don't know. Okay, and then what about endings though? Because a lot of people ask about grammar and stuff, so endings like LLA, LLA, how do you know which ending should you add? So if you have a word with only front vowels, so U, A, you will use the same corresponding A to fit it into your word. If you have front and neutral, the neutral ones, they're neutral, so they don't have any sway or effect on the word itself with endings. So the front vowel is more dominant in this case, so then the ending will also be front. If you have only back vowels, your ending will be back vowel as well. So in this case with the, did I have the SSA and SSA? I mean SSA and SSA. So if it's back, you would go with the corresponding A ending, so the SSA ending. So it would be back matching back. And then if it's back in neutral, again, the neutral doesn't sway the word at all. So the back vowels would be more dominant in this case. So then the combination of those two would still be a back vowel. And then what about a case that is only neutral? You know, they're neutral, they don't really have an effect. So if you only have neutral, the go-to ending would be a front vowel ending. So front being the number one overall. So front is the best one. It's the most dominant. So if you only have neutral vowels, it will default to a front vowel ending, so the SSA ending. Yeah, so basically just a quick rule of thumb, if the word itself has dots in it, so will the ending. If the word doesn't have dots in it, the ending will not have dots either. That's just the quick rule of thumb. So yeah, that's just a brief info session on vowels, vowel harmony, and why Finnish words have this kind of little discrimination going on between certain vowels being in the same word with each other, and a little intro about word endings and a little bit how to choose what kind of ending you would put on a word. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. If you have a question, do please comment it down below. I will be happy to help you, and I guess that just about concludes this video, so until next time.